Hi, my name is Jacob. I'm Vice President of Activities at the University of West London. I'm also a music student and I also have a learning disability. I have dyslexia and dyspraxia, and I'm here to talk a little bit about my experience. When I started school, right from my first year, right from when I was in foundation or reception or whatever you want to call it, everything just took me ages, like so much longer than anybody else, and I didn't really understand why. In foundation or reception, whatever you call it at your school, your teacher's lesson plan tends to be 60 minutes. You have 20 minutes at the beginning, which is like standard, like normal work where you're writing or reading or doing something like that, and then 40 minutes of learning through play. Unfortunately, I never really got past that first set of work, and it was really frustrating for me. It was really tiring, and it essentially meant that I didn't get on to that like 40 minutes of playing with my mates. So as a result of this, my teacher thought I was lazy, but luckily my mum didn't, and she made the decision to kind of like work alongside the school to work out what was going on, and they kind of came to the conclusion that they needed to get me tested for some learning disabilities. I eventually got a diagnosis, and then she was kind of left with this decision, where do we go from here? And she made the decision that if her son wanted to go to university, then he was going to have the support so that he could do it. As a result of that, the school put me in contact with a tutor who was a bloke called Mr. Salt, which was pretty mental for my little 8-year-old brain. I was like, my name's Jacob Pepper, your name's Mr. Salt, we're going to be best pals. And then we put in all kinds of work, and I've eventually learnt to read and write fluently, and it kind of led with a load of other work into me ending up here at university. So if I hadn't have got tested, then obviously I never would have had that opportunity. Unfortunately, not everyone's as lucky as I am, and they don't get picked up as long as they don't get picked up as early on as they should, or as they could do. And what that means is they spend their whole of their school experience as a part of a curriculum that doesn't really suit them. Because people with dyslexia, their brains are wired completely differently to somebody to anybody else. It makes you incredibly good at thinking outside the box. It makes you creative. It makes you brilliant at problem solving, which is absolutely fantastic when you step out into the real world, because it means that you have this superpower. But unfortunately, when you're in the schooling system, that superpower can sometimes be your biggest weakness, particularly if you don't get tested. That's why it's really important that we think about why we're different, get ourselves tested, so that we can get the support that we need, so that we can understand ourselves better and essentially thrive and be successful. So if you feel like any of this is in any way similar to your own experience and your experience of education, take that opportunity to come down to Student Services and speak to the wellbeing team and get yourself tested.